Hi, ladies. Let's see. Okay.
/listen?
Yes.
Is it going to be on our website also, right?
Yes.
Rochester Free Radio, taking back the radio. WRFD-LP, Rochester. Hi, this is Uncle Slash.
Are we allowed to share it on the source page?
Yeah.
Yep, it doesn't matter what style you want to play it. So make sure you submit the music to the station. And don't forget to check out our Facebook page. Join me, Judah,
And Uncle Slash.
every Sunday at 1 p.m. for Rock to Rock 106.3 FM, Rochester Free Radio.
I need something.
Do you have your own mobile app? Well,
Damn it.
Rochester Free Radio does. It's made possible by Omni Mobile Incorporated. Our app allows you to listen to our broadcast live and worldwide. Just go to
Hi, guys.
type in Rochester Free Radio, and you're on your way to minimum effort and maximum listening pleasure. And it's free. That's the Rochester Free Radio app, now available for Android phones at the Google Play Store. Apple Store availability coming soon.
Attention, State New York fans and musicians. Are you in an unsigned band? Would you like to have your music heard on the radio? Send us your info at rochesterfreeradio@gmail.com. We'll add you to our playlist. Plus, you'll get airplay on shows to help you reach your audience. Not to mention, you could also have the chance to guest on the show and play live in the studio. Send us your info in bio
They get
and
cut off.
MP3s of your music to rochesterfreeradio@gmail.com, or you can send it by snail mail. Either way, don't let this opportunity.
We're going to be going on in just a second, guys. Bear with us. We have our theme song, and then the fun begins.
106.3 FM.
I get chills every time.
Me too.
Red Bull, baby.
This note.
Am I allowed to go live for my days?
No, I mean, we can share it all. I'm going to pass my phone. We're going to pass the phone around. So,
What's up, guys? Tune in 106.3 www.rochesterfreeradio.com or www.hopedealersbtc. This is Chris. I love y'all. If no one told you today, I love you, and recovery is possible. Let's do it. You want one? What? More so than that ginger ale. I just shared it in like Acts of the Boys, Rochester Recovery, Swords, Rants and Raves. We need to get these views. That's for fact.
2 minutes.
Yeah, they call me the max and watching you go through the cupboard on the hunt for the snacks. Friday, sandwiches, the egg and cheese with ranch. So we can come to the mic.
What mics are you guys at? Red and yellow. Red and yellow, red and yellow.
Without you right here, stay strong, fight through this. I'm saying that's not in vain. Cause we're giving many others, we can be the change.
We got Legend in the house, Dinakins, TJ, Karina, Chris Perry. 1 minute and 15 seconds.
Take it so big, he has all the attributes. And when I'm looking up green, the drums, all I see is you. And I know you're looking down and us, we look up at you. And Stephanie's doing really good, she making it through. She started this whole movement called Be the Change. She's trying to let people know that it's never too late. And your mama's okay, she was having a hard time, but she's always beautiful like you, one of a kind. We appreciate the memories you left behind. I stare at the stars and feel like it's you that shines. Just a beautiful soul taking away too soon. Until we all meet again, remember we love you.
Richard, don't let me forget to get the check for the underwriting from Medina before we leave. What's going on, Rochester? Be the Change Radio. Neffy in the house.
Dinakins.
What's up, Rochester? It's Chris.
And Karina.
You guys are listening to 106.3 FM, WRFZ. We are Facebook Live right now from our page, Be the Change Hope Dealers, BTC. You can check it out and always listen online at Rochester Free Radio /listen. Holy moly, we got a lot of stuff to cover today.
Yep.
Let's talk about a little bit about how outreach went and cleanup. You guys did outreach today, Karina and Adina. Oh, actually,
Yes.
hold on a second. Okay,
What?
we're gonna be different today. We're going to talk about our first thing, and then we're going to explain how outreach was a little bit different today. I think it's
Agreed.
very important. So, as everybody knows, we're in the streets every Sunday. We're doing outreach, cleanup all over the city. We call it our community's ground zero. So, last Monday, Burbank Street and 6 other locations were raided. There's been an ongoing investigation since the middle of last year. 23 packages, which weigh between 31 to 47 pounds each, kilogram packages, have been being sent from Puerto Rico. There
That's some
was
serious weight.
Oh my
Serious.
gosh, yeah, that's insane. So they seized $630,000 in cash, 6 assault rifles, 2 loaded guns, 2 kilograms of coke, and some heroin and fentanyl. Now we do what we do. And we do it in a very safe manner, and we have to have blinders on so we're safe in the areas that we go to. Be the Change is not a crime reporting organization. That's the completely different spectrum of what we do. So we can continue to do what we do safely.
Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
I think it's important to let people know, like, as some of us being recovering addicts, we definitely know what's going on out there. but it is not our place nor our responsibility to have anything to do with conflicting with the drug dealers or what's going on there. You know what I mean? I think our main focus, like Stephanie said, putting our blinders on to that kind of stuff. Are we aware of it? Yes. Do we necessarily look at it? No. We're just trying to let the addicts themselves know that change is possible, and we are mainly looking at keeping the environments that people are going to use, because unfortunately we're not going to stop everyone from using. People are going to continue to use. So we just try to keep them areas safe, and we don't try to conflict with the drug dealers or the houses that's going on or whatever, because that could have potentially put our safety at risk. And so we just mainly focus on doing outreach to the still struggling people that may or may not be ready for treatment or to get help, and we just leave the rest alone. You know, if we're asked to leave an area by a drug dealer, we leave, you know, but a lot of them do respect what we're doing also, because their families live there, you know. Yeah, they might be selling drugs, but their families live there. They don't want to walk out their front door and have their children picking up needles or seeing needles and stuff, so they respect what we do, but at the same time, we definitely have to respect our boundaries and have boundaries there, because it could become very dangerous for us if we were to be a reporting agency of any kind or try to tell the drug dealers they can't sell drugs there. Like
right.
Which we are not.
Right.
Right.
That's like I said, it's the completely different spectrum.
Right.
So that brings us to our cleanup and outreach today. Deanakins had message. Yeah, go ahead, Karina. I saw that finger go up. What do you want to say?
I just, we have a few comments on our live feed.
Okay.
And specifically because you were just referring to outreach, Lisa Giglia wants to know if there is a way to get involved with the outreach that we do each week.
Absolutely. So every week, Sunday, we meet between 9:30 and 10 o'clock. It's normally closer to 10 o'clock at 10 Sullivan Street. And we go out into the community. We clean up pretty much all day from 9:30 till 3:30. Karina, I'll let you talk a little bit about outreach.
Yeah, so Lisa, just to let you know, every Sunday from 1:30, I'll say, to 3:30, we have a home base, and that is at 821 North Clinton Avenue. And from that location, we do outreach. We offer peer-to-peer support and counseling. We also have a donations closet, and down there we have all kinds of clothes, shoes. We also have lunches that we give out from that location. We have hygiene products, so you can get involved that way as well. You can come and volunteer your time helping gather clothes and items for people, or even just come and greet the people that come in. We get people off the streets the entire time that we're there, and we're just trying to provide them a little bit of help for their struggles.
Awesome. Yes. And
Well said.
we love it. And we love when people come out and join us. We have a great time. We're a family. Okay. So normally we all meet at 9:30, 10 o'clock at 10 Sullivan. Earlier, a few days ago, Deanakins had said she wasn't sure if they wanted to come out. A few people were nervous about going into the area due to, the shooting. It was a little intense, and this is the area that we are frequently in. So Deanakins and TJ and
Chris Cope,
Chad. Yeah, a bunch of people went and did outreach in a different location today, and another group went and did cleanup. So, Dee, talk a little bit about what your feelings were from being nervous.
Basically, my concerns were I didn't really feel comfortable going into that area because I figured that there'd be people on high alert, and I didn't want to get it, we didn't want to get in anybody's way, whether it, be the police or what have you. So we basically said that we wanted to kind of lay low and, do a different area away from Burbank and what is that, Burbank and North Clinton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, I used to have Deanakins bring me over there to get Suboxone.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. So
Many times.
and so I'm used to that area, and she never really liked going over to that area. Obviously, she's not an addict. She's not in recovery. She's never.
Nope.
She's only dealt with it through me and my nephew and other people who she's aware of who have gone through it.
My stepson.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's different in the eyes of people who are in recovery. I mean, we're addicts in recovery, but we've lived that way. So, Chris, how did you feel about going over there today?
I totally understand where the people that were concerned are coming from. For me, the intensity of what we do on Sundays is my new drug of choice. I kind of thrive off of it, and no, not because of the chaos or drama like that. Of course, I'm human. I can be attracted to those things too. But for me, really, it was no different than on any Sunday, and that's just my personal opinion. What we do and the areas we're in and going into abandoned houses that we're not sure what we're walking into, that's all very dangerous, and I totally accept that as my position here with Be the Change, but I do understand where everyone was coming from with it. And for me, I've lived in those houses. I've lived in that area. I've dealt with all those people. I've watched houses get raided. I've watched houses get shot at and the people shoot back at the cops. I've seen all that. That's been a part of my life for 15 years. So really, it didn't bother me personally. So that's really my point of view on it as a recovering addict, as someone who lived on the streets over that way and dealt with those people on a day-to-day basis for a lot of years. Yeah, they're not interested in what we're doing. They're gonna shoot at cops because those are cops, and they know they're facing a whole lot of time if they get caught doing what they're doing. As far as us cleaning up stuff, I don't think that they are too concerned with us. They know that we're not stepping on their toes and trying to stop them from doing what they do and making their money. So
I totally agree. Karina, what about you? I know you.
My
do
situation is
outreach.
entirely different. I personally, if I didn't have my son, I also would have attended doing the cleanups. Something that, even though me personally, I didn't never reach that point in my addiction. By the grace of God, my bottom didn't include me using a needle, but that doesn't change anything for me. It gives me a sense of what could have possibly happened, and I feel very strongly about what we do as a unit and as a group, and I really actually get a lot of motivation from doing the cleanups, but unfortunately, because I'm a single mom and I can't always get a sitter. That's why I take care of 821, because I can bring my son there. I can't really be outside with him. But if I did have a sitter, or if I could have been there, then I would have, because, even though I get it, I feel like technically, I guess I should be more well, I probably shouldn't do that because, God forbid something happened to me, where would my son go? But in all actuality, this is what I do for myself to keep me clean, and that has to come before anything, even before my son, regardless of what anybody thinks or says about that, because if I don't stay vigilant, then I won't even be around to be a mother for him. So, I did a lot of real messed up things in my addiction. So going out, in a crappy neighborhood where people are killed, I did that anyways.
Right, exactly.
I did that anyways all the time. So why would I not continue to do that in recovery? And that's just my own personal standpoint from it.
Right. I totally agree. And I think, this was a little bit, we didn't all agree on how we wanted to handle it, and I think we did a great job. And it's normal for us to disagree about stuff. That's totally normal.
Agree
That's
to disagree.
Life. Right.
Exactly. I think I said that. We can agree to disagree, and ultimately, We can disagree, we still love each other, and we're still going to do what we can do for the greater purpose, and that's make an impact on Rochester as a whole, as Be the Change, and continue our primary purpose of helping the still struggling person and cleaning up the neighborhoods.
Exactly. So I wanted to talk about Mark Assini. He is the Gates town supervisor, and he has a sibling who is battling with addiction. Addiction grabs all families. It does not discriminate. And he, quote unquote, said, "We are in a crisis. When we are in a crisis and somebody is drowning, you jump in and save them. What is it costing? Wait, what is it costing? It's costing lives if we don't act." Yes.
Right.
Like,
people are dying, period. People are dying, period.
Yes, yeah. And if we don't act, if we don't speak up, like he's an official. We need our officials. We need our mayor. We need
more officials.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just to think just like him.
Right.
I think a lot of the misconceptions about addiction and recovery is that people think it discriminates, and it doesn't. You know what I mean? The president could have struggled with addiction. The town supervisors, the mayors, all those people, if people like that came forward and really spoke the truth about addiction and how it's touched their family, because almost every family I know of that I've ever encountered has been touched by addiction in some way, shape, or form.
Absolutely.
If those people come out and speak about those things, that's going to make the stigma go away a little bit more. Because it touches everyone. It touches the poor, it touches the middle class, it touches the wealthy, man. It doesn't matter. Addiction is addiction is addiction. It could be something, it could be alcohol, it could be heroin, it could be cigarettes, it could be sex, it could be pornography, like anything.
Gambling,
you know? Gambling,
yeah.
like addiction touches almost all lives, man, and we need to make a stand, and we need to unite as a community here in Rochester to make an impact on this and let people know that you can change. We can change together. We need to end the stigma, like screw that, you know, and like for me, anonymity in my 12-step program, okay, I get it. But I'll scream from the rooftops, and I'm in recovery from, I'm a recovering heroin addict. I won't scream from the rooftops, you are, but you can break your own anonymity. But like, I don't fully believe in anonymity as far as when I'm sharing my story or my experience, strength, and hope, because if people don't know who I am, my full name, and then who I was compared to who I am today, then it's not really making any waves, you know
Right,
what I mean?
Why be anonymous? Why? There's no reason to be anonymous. There should be no shame attached to people who suffer from the disease of addiction.
And it is a disease, people.
No, they should be able to speak up and tell their story.
Yeah, absolutely true. He also stated, "I'd rather be on the side of the angels. If I can save a life and take a criticism, okay, I will save the life."
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
That is what I'm talking about. That is what we do. This is what I mean. When I hear things like that from people that are in a position of power, like I can't even really express the amount of passion that it fills inside of me, because I get that, you know, we go out and we clean up the streets and we try to offer people lunches, but the base of what we do is try to help somebody that is an addict in active addiction get help. Aside from that is try to form support for people that are in recovery to show them that living this kind of life might not always be easy, but it's 100% possible.
And it's so worth it.
Okay.
Beyond my wildest dreams.
Okay. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Amen.
I really just feel like that's a big statement from somebody with power. Yeah, exactly. Somebody with power, you know, like it shows that just everything that we're already discussing, that there really is no stigma, that it doesn't matter who you are, what you do, if you're in power, not in power. Like this epidemic is touching everybody.
Everybody.
Well,
everybody's life.
Yeah, and it proves it right there, because his sister is addicted to heroin.
And that's
he's a powerful person, and he's got somebody really close to him that's going through it.
And the thing that makes me smile inside, like makes my spirit dance, is the fact that he's willing to make people aware of it, and he's willing to take a stand and do something about it. Because people could admit that they have family members that are struggling with addiction, or they are themselves, but what do they want to do about it? And how are they going to help organizations like us, or help the town or the city come together and do something about it? You know what I mean? And with those people empowered, coming out and stating that, now maybe they can get their politician buddy to join hands with them and do something about it.
Start taking a stand, a bigger stand.
Absolutely. We all need to be the change.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, absolutely. And, some people don't want to be proactive. A lot of people in the city are scared to stand up and fight for what's right. And, I don't blame them. They live there. I get it. But nothing changes if nothing changes.
If we affect one person a month in a positive way, we're making a change. We're being the change.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I've had people ask me about what we do, and like, you're never going to help everyone. Well, of course not. But we're going to help as many people as we can. And that's going to make a change, and that's going to see the people that might not want help right now, that people are changing, that they were getting high with weeks ago or months ago or whatever, and they're doing something different. I remember a couple weeks back, one of the guys that I used to use with in the abandoned houses and stuff, I stayed with him in an abandoned house. He said, "Man, Chris, you look like you have a life again." And I said, "I do." And it's from helping you. Helping people like you is really my purpose in life. Service is my main purpose in life.
Absolutely. So we're going to take a quick break, and this song has came up so many times this week.
Is it what I think it is?
I think so. I only find it appropriate to play Pink Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken.
This is my anthem. Let me just be clear. This is my anthem. This song is about me.
Keep listening to Be the Change, Addiction Awareness and Support on
RochesterFreeRadio.com
106.3 WRFC.
Be the change, Rochester. So we should probably stay on live video. If you guys can't hear everyone,
Yes.
If you guys can't hear everyone, listen at www.rochesterfreeradio.listen.com. I think.
Yes.
Yes. We're in separate rooms, so you might not be able to hear all of us, and it gets confusing. I understand.
Right. And Win fixes it up later when we go on. Oops. So you will be able to hear everything. But while we're doing this, tune in to the radio station. Go on to Rochester Free Radio.
Man, I'm lucky. Look at all that beauty right there.
So, we do have some questions. So, let's see. We
answered Lisa.
No, Jason, we are not a nonprofit yet. We have paperwork to still follow. Claire, sorry you couldn't hear us. Hopefully you guys can hear us now. Jeff.
Go to RochesterFreeRadio.com.
What meetings do you hit? I don't go to meetings.
Message me on Facebook, Christopher Perry.
Yeah.
Christopher Perry. I will guide you to any meetings. Any meeting is a good meeting, but I'll let you know what meetings I personally go to or what meetings are in your area that you can go to. And I'm always willing to talk no matter what. Christopher Perry on Facebook, or you can reach me at 585-498-5451.
And let's see. Yes, Joe, the microphones are working. You have to turn the radio on. I couldn't hear when you answered me.
Lisa, the live feed will be tonight, but what I can tell you is that you can join any part of our outreach. We do cleanups every Sunday. We also have a home base at 821 North Clinton Avenue. Every Sunday we meet at 9:30 at 10 Sullivan Street, and then at 1:30 we meet at 821 North Clinton to do outreach. Go to www.hopedealersbtc.com.
Yeah, we have forms you can fill out on there for volunteering. Jason, you rock. We love you. Jason Durango.
Jason! Thanks for the post on the page every day, brother.
He's awesome.
He is.
Hi, Stacey. I love you.
Oh, I love her.
Three is a crowd, Stacy.
I flipped it around by accident.
Okay. So we have 50 seconds.
Okay. I thought you wanted me to recap
this
what we
nifty
did
microphone.
today, and I had that all written down, but we didn't talk about it. So, how we went to Tent City and
Oh yeah, we didn't
Interested.
even.
Yeah, we
We
did
will.
even-
I'll bring it up.
Okay.
We will.
all right,
Um,
all right.
In New York State, there's not a town or a neighborhood that hasn't been impacted. It doesn't care about your age, where you live, or how successful you are. Addiction doesn't discriminate. No one ever thinks that they or someone they care about will become addicted. And if you believe underage drinking or substance use isn't a big deal, you're wrong. It's going to take all of us. Let's come together and combat addiction.
Yes, let's come together and
Combat addiction.
Yes, I loved that.
Together we can.
Yes.
Alone I can't.
It's so true. So we didn't talk about how outreach and cleanup went. Normally we do it in the beginning, but we got a little sidetracked talking during the first half of our show. So what did you guys do during outreach this morning?
Well, we went to Tent City.
Which one?
Yeah, sure.
South Avenue?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Tent City on South Avenue. I apologize.
I lived there once.
And we pulled in the parking lot, which I was like, we pulled in the parking lot. We had the two cars, and there was a cop car there. And we walked up to him, and we let him know what we were doing. And he's like, "Oh, that's so cool." He's like, "Let me know if you need me." And we were like, "All right." Yeah, he was awesome. He was a younger police officer. But yeah, he definitely said, if you need any assistance, just let me know, and you guys are good.
So cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. So we went down there, but we didn't bump into anybody. But we did leave 12 lunches there.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yes. And then we ended up going to Jones Park, the drive-in park bridge. That's where TJ and Chris Cope walked down, and they had, it was quite a trip. But we didn't see anybody there, but we did leave, a couple lunches. We did the underpass of Carter. We talked to a gentleman there, and, we just basically let him know that when you're ready,
We can help you.
we can help you. But he definitely was not ready yet. We could definitely tell.
Right.
And
that's okay. I mean,
Right.
that's a part of what we do.
well, absolutely. That's why we let him know. Look, we have the
Resources.
Thank you. I couldn't think of the word.
Teamwork, baby.
Makes the dream work. Yeah. Yeah, we have the resources. When you're ready, you know where to find us. And we also told them about 821.
Very
Cool,
cool.
North Clinton. We told quite a few people about 821, and actually, we were on Lyle Avenue today. We went down Lyle Avenue, and we met a gentleman. His name is Gary, and we let him know about it, and he came to 821.
Yeah, that's
and-
right.
Yeah,
My sponsee was like, "Oh, you made it."
Yeah, well,
cool.
yeah, because TJ happened to see him when we were driving. Hey, TJ goes, "Oh, wait, we got to turn around." And I said, "For what?" And he goes, "Trust me, we got to turn around." And I was like, "All right." So we turned around, and we were looking all over for him because he was on a bike. And when you're on a bike, you usually can, beat feet real quick. But I go, "Oh, there he is." So we pulled up, and it was near AutoZone on Lyle, either AutoZone or Advantage Auto. I apologize. One of those.
Cool.
On the left-hand side, across from Burger King. And we gave him a couple lunches also, and he's like, "Wow, thanks a lot." And then we told him about 821, and he was there.
That's awesome.
So, yes, it was very rewarding. We went down a couple other streets, and we just basically, handed out lunches. This one guy was collecting cans, and Chad had a whole bunch of like bags of cans. You should have seen his face. It was priceless. He
so cool.
smiled from ear to ear and said, "God bless you guys."
That's so cool.
It's so rewarding. I love it.
That's so cool. So during cleanup today, we went into this house that's been secured for months. The whole time we've been doing this, it's been secured. It wasn't secured today. Chris was the first one to go in. Diego Jr.
They wouldn't let me go all the way in. They made me wait for somebody. Yeah, we went in. It was a house on Ketchum Street. If you're from Rochester and you were ever around that area, if you're a recovering addict or an addict, you probably know about it. But it's a regular spot we stop at basically every week, and we almost always run into at least one person using there. There's always a lot of high activity, and there's always cleanup going on there. But today, we went around the house, and when we got to the far side of the house from where we parked, the one basement window, which had metal bars originally and wood behind that, was unsecured, and the metal bars were folded right up. It was a fairly small window, so of course the little guy got sent in first. And I mean, all we could see was the basement from there, so we went in, and we ended up getting 2 or 3 other people in, 4 other people in, and we probably picked up about 100 needles in the basement alone, and then throughout the house we probably got another 200, I would say.
Easily.
That's crazy.
So today we picked up about 700 needles total. It was insane. So let's get back to some of our topics. Hopefully we will have enough time for all of them. Blah, 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 blah. So, okay, on November 2nd, a man named Noel Cologne.
Not colon.
One of them was arrested for driving under the influence and possession of drugs. Less than 24 hours after being arrested and placed in the Livingston County Jail, he was found dead, and I quote, surrounded by bags of fentanyl.
Wow.
On January 29th, the Livingston County Sheriff's Office was handed a lawsuit. And what the core issue of the lawsuit is about, John Pernello, who is attorney, states, how did the fentanyl get into the cell with him after he passed through the hands of sheriffs? According to the U.S. State Department of Justice, 37 inmates died in New York State jails, and this is only from 2014, 37. I can only imagine
how many
has been since then.
Yeah.
How did it get in there? When I was going through checks, I would not only get searched by the police first before getting into the police car. You get searched right when you get in there. You go through like these machine things. You sit on them. You put your cheek on them. It's insane.
Right.
So how is this stuff getting in? Are cops smuggling it in? Are COs? Like, how is it getting in? How did this happen?
I have experience with the jail system, of course. Drugs are accessible all the time in jails.
Oh, yeah.
There is ways to get it in when you're going through them search and seizures, or the searches, boofing it. The jailhouse glove box, they call it. Anyway, but if the inmate didn't bring it in, if he was searched properly, they may or may not have found it. But my belief is he possibly could have gotten it from inside the jail. It could be the cops. I mean, money is a powerful thing. Greed is a powerful thing. I don't know facts on it, so I can't say that he got it from the cops, or he got it from another inmate, or he brought it in himself. I don't know that. But I am going to speak on the fact that it's definitely, when the cops were doing their rounds, they didn't notice anything funny until the one round he happens to be dead already. I mean, if they were really doing their rounds every 15 minutes, which is procedure,
he would probably still be alive.
Yes, then they would have maybe noticed something a little funny going on. I mean, I don't think he used all them bags of fentanyl in just one, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't really 100% understand it. There's definitely some fishy waters going on there. And like I said, I don't know facts, so I'm just speaking on it from my experience, but drugs are definitely just as accessible in jail sometimes as they are on the streets.
They definitely are. And not too long ago, I'm pretty sure they had a drug bust at, I'm absolutely sure they had a drug bust at Monroe County Jail.
Yes, they did.
And a lot of people think jail's safer. No.
Not at all.
No, it's not. That would be great if it was, but...
Jail was a vacation for me. I'd be going through the booking part, getting searched, like, yep, I'm about to have 3 hots and a cot, because I didn't have that when I was on the streets.
Right.
And I was going to get medicine, whatever it may have been.
Right. And now when someone overdoses, we talked about on another show what it looks like. So what is the Good Samaritan law? Have you heard of it? Who's protected? How does it work? Do you any input?
I have a personal experience with it.
Okay.
I was in the Aldi's parking lot on Lake Avenue some years back, and a friend of mine overdosed in my car, and I was in Aldi's stealing some stuff. When I came out, he was blue, and I had told him that whatever we had was strong and not to do it all, and he did it all. So when I came out, he was blue and not breathing, and that was right around when the Good Samaritan law had started, I believe. So I called the cops instantly, and I actually had to fight with them because they wanted to search my car, and I knew there was drugs in the car, but they couldn't legally search it. The Good Samaritan law basically makes it so if someone overdoses and you call, you cannot be charged with any criminal charges for calling, or if there's drugs on the scene that's visible. They do not have 100% right to search unless, other than the person that overdosed, if there's like drug paraphernalia right out in the open or whatever, then they may have intent to search. But as far as my concern is, it protects you as the person calling, even if you are a using addict. And in that case, it did protect me. They were not allowed to search my vehicle, which if they would have, I would have gotten some charges. So
right.
But I've also had people tell me bad experiences with the Good Samaritan law where when they call, the police will come and talk a lot of smack to them, like, oh, these addicts, this and that, and, call names and talk down to the people there and everything. And I think that's really
right. That's
bad.
part of the stigma.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, yes, and that is how it works. Now, there are a few catches. So the law protects you from prosecution for possessing a controlled substance up to and including A2 felony offenses. So that's anything under 8 ounces. Also possessing alcohol where underage drinking is involved. Possessing marijuana, any amount. Possessing drug paraphernalia and or sharing drugs. The law does not protect you from the following: an A1 felony possession of a controlled substance. That's 8 ounces or more. Sale or intent to sell a controlled substance. Or if you're there and it happens and you have open warrants for something else, it unfortunately, right. Yeah. Also, if you're violating probation or parole, you're already, doing something you should not be doing. So
if you're the drug dealer that sold the person the drugs, don't call, because the Good Samaritan law does not cover you.
Well,
I wouldn't say
always call.
Always call 911. Absolutely.
I mean, because it's lives. It's someone's life. We're gonna talk about something, and this will probably take up the rest of the show. And we already had a few comments because we had put something on our website on my blog, and some people did have questions about it. And this is about New York advocates to discuss safe injection site programs. It's a coalition known as End Overdose New York. This was held last Monday with officials and a bunch of people who are discussing what the benefits would be and what the cons and pros would be of having these. Adina, I think you know a couple of the questions that were already asked by people.
Yes, I do. Mary on Facebook asks, how do they regulate how much is safe to inject? Or is it just to be someplace where they can obtain medical attention?
Okay, so great question, Mary. This is just so they're somewhere safe. They do not supply the drugs. They're only there if someone overdoses to revive them.
What'd you say? I'm sorry. I was totally zoned out just now.
So, and now I think we all have different thoughts about how this will work, which we will get into. But this would allow the community-based organizations to establish safe, supervised locations where people can use their pre-purchased drugs. Supporters say these would be in a controlled environment with trained staff, so people who are Narcan trained, people who are probably medical trained. I'm assuming there would be doctors there. And the staff would help prevent and respond to overdoses, as well as provide guidance to people who are tired of living this way and want to live a different life. And I think it's awesome.
Right. The trained people know, the overdose signs and how to resuscitate. And they'll obviously call the paramedics in the event of an emergency. Right. So, yeah, that's what they're there for. They're there to make sure that nobody, dies on their watch, basically.
Right. Or, there's some strands, because fentanyl binds to your receptors a lot more tightly and differently than heroin. But there are some that don't that are resistant to Narcan.
Yeah.
I almost said naloxone again.
I think that the safe injection sites, there's polarized opinions. There's good things and bad things, definitely pros and cons. I think one of the main things we need to emphasize on is the fact that unfortunately there's always going to be the drugs and there's always going to be people that use the drugs. We can't get everyone to stop. So therefore, the people that are choosing not to get recovery or whatever will have somewhere to go and it's safe. You know what I mean? Because unfortunately, that's just the reality of it. In an ideal world, we could get everyone clean and, all that. But having a safe place is going to save a lot of lives. And it's not like they're going to be able to tell what the drug is that they're going to be injecting or anything like that, because I know I'm not giving up a little bit of my drugs for them to test to see what it is, to make sure it's safe for me to shoot. If I'm sick, I'm going to do it.
Right, and they don't, they obviously don't know how much fentanyl is in it. They don't know any of that,
Exactly. But it is just trained medical staff on, and they can do the proper procedures to save lives. I think that's the main thing.
Right.
It's not only a heroin epidemic right now, it's just an epidemic of overdoses and deaths happening.
Right, and, nobody knows how much fentanyl. I don't even think the drug dealers know. And it's just, it affects so many different people. And some people are brought up the life of selling drugs. And then there's other people who are the addicts. There's so many different views on it. And I think everyone's view is totally valid. And like for what?
Oh, no, I just, go ahead. I have someone else that commented too.
Okay, and I think it's important that it's talked about. I think safe shooting sites
safe injection sites.
Yes, I think that they're a great idea. I know it years ago, before the needle exchange came out, that was a very controversial topic, and people didn't think that was going to be a great idea, and they didn't think it was going to help, but it has. The HIV rate has dropped. The hepatitis C rate has dropped. I don't know. I think that this could be great. And everyone in Be the Change has a different opinion, but Be the Change as a whole supports any ideas and all roads to recovery.
It's basically a harm reduction method.
Right. So, I don't know.
We just
Karina,
want
what are your
everybody to
views?
be safe.
Personally,
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess I'm kind of split about it. And I say that because I understand the purpose behind it, but I don't agree. I don't agree because, see, I can't even really answer that because I really am torn about it. Like, in one breath, I'm like, okay, you know what, this makes sense. It kind of gives people a little bit of a safe area. But in all actuality, like, it doesn't really matter. Like, if you want to go get high and shoot up, you're going to go get high and shoot up, whether it's a shooting gallery, you know, where there's people there, or
site.
So
safe injection site.
Right. But do you not think it will save lives?
Yes, I definitely, and that's where I'm kind of torn with it because I do think that it will save lives because, you know, if you're in a safe injecting site and you overdose, you're going to get saved. You know, I would.
There's help right there.
That's the difference between, you know, breaking into an abandoned building, overdosing, and nobody finding you for 2 days because nobody knows where you're at. You know, but I also, you know, you guys know how I am. Like, I have no shame in my opinion or how I feel or what I do.
No,
Right,
there's
and you
nothing
should.
wrong with that.
Personally, like, my life is recovery, and I don't condone anybody going out and getting high because I know what the benefits are of living life in recovery. So obviously what I want is for every addict to find their way to the same road that I found.
Oh, yeah.
So
Amen.
I kind of feel like even though I know that that's not the primary purpose for this happening, I feel like that's encouraging it. And for me, I can't jump on board with that.
See, I disagree.
There's a
It's going to happen. It's going to happen either way. It's not encouraging it. We know it's going to happen either way.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
There's a gray area there for sure because
Yeah.
it's like some people look at it as enabling and like it's already pretty easy in Rochester to use, you know what I mean? And now if we do a safe injection site, it in most people's eyes it looks like it's going to make it easier and it's going to make people want to continue to do it. But part of the thrill and part of the addiction for me was getting the drugs, finding somewhere to do the drugs, doing the drugs in that sketchy location. Like, there's more to it than just the drug. You know what I mean?
Right, you're
So,
addicted to that
yeah, I get
whole,
the
like,
whole
The whole
lifestyle.
process.
Yeah. So
I was too. I was addicted to my process.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in an institution with doctors when I do a shot of something.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
that's just my opinion. Again, like I said, there's polarized opinions, and people can agree to disagree. We'll see what happens. And, like, really, for me, my belief on it is if God sees fit, it'll happen.
Right.
Well, and I have a comment from Christine Sador. Same philosophy in teenagers and birth control. She said she'd rather you not do it, but she's not naive, so at least be safe about it.
There you
That's
go.
what she said.
Right.
That's a good analogy.
Right.
Yes, a very good analogy.
And there's other places already utilizing this. There's other countries that have been doing this.
Philly, I
for
just seen
years.
Philly opened one up recently, and they said that it's actually helped the community as a whole. I read the article, but it was like a week ago. So
Right. If you go on the web and you look this up, you just look up safe injecting sites, and you can look in different countries on how this has affected them, if it's been positive or negative. We really want to get somebody who is on the board of this group who went to the meeting and talked about, you know, the pros and cons. Someone from End Overdose New York. We would love to have someone come on and teach us. We want to learn about it because we've never had one before. And I think everybody's point's valid, and it's great for us to be educated about it. I want to learn more about it. I have no clue if it would or wouldn't work.
I agree.
And I mean, I only have my opinion that I think that it would, but I honestly have no clue. Yeah. Holy moly, the day just flew by.
I got it.
You got what?
Oh, you know,
What's
I'm just
going
taking
on?
notes over here. Just taking notes.
Oh yeah. We yeah.
This is real live radio. Really live.
Yeah.
Mr. Christopher Perry,
Yeah.
don't you have something to talk about?
I think you do. I think you do, in fact, have something that you would like to share. He's like, what?
I don't have it.
That's okay.
Yes, he no.
You guys.
All right, guys. So I hope we have some supporters listening. Today was an awesome day with Be the Change. You guys should come out and join us. Again, we meet at 10 Sullivan Street on Sunday mornings at 9:30. We do outreach at 821 North Clinton from 1:30 to 3:30. And then we also do the radio show, and we do have slots for guests opened up here in the near future. So if you are someone in recovery or someone who wants to come on the show, feel free to contact us via www.hopedealersbtc.com, or you can hit me up on Facebook, Christopher Perry, or Stephanie up on Facebook, or also our Facebook page, Hope Dealers BTC.
Yes. Yes. And we're supposed to have our sledding event Saturday. It's at 2 p.m. at Cobb's Hill Reservoir. Hey, I said it right. Woo-hoo. So
Going on.
hopefully we get this snowstorm and we can still do it. But if not, we will reschedule it. We will keep you guys posted on our page, and obviously we'll still be talking it throughout the week, but we will keep you posted and let you guys know. We would love to see everyone out though. And we would like to thank Chad Everett. He is amazing.
If you want your remodeling dreams come to life, call Chad Everett from 7 C's Home Improvements. That is the number 7, letter C, Home Improvements.
And his phone number is
585-613-1548. Again, that's Chad Everett, and the company is 7 C's Home Improvements. The number 7, letter C, Home Improvements.
And we're so glad you guys spent this hour with us.
Thank you, Rochester.
We love you, Rochester.
We love you.
Being the change with us. And we're going to close out with Johnny Cash.
The Junkie's Prayer.
I've never heard the song.
My mom sent it to me on Facebook
Really?
the other day. Yeah.
I'm excited to hear
Oh,
it.
that's cool.
Yes. So we will see you guys next week.
Join the movement, Rochester. Let's go.
Keep being the change.
Woo-hoo.
Really knows what's going on in this country. People that control the news media, that are on the news media.
We love you guys. Thank you for watching.
Epidemic reports. Everybody's guilty.
Say bye.
Bye. Love you.
Say bye.
Hi.
Our little mascot buddy. It's like, Mommy, feed me. All right. We will check you guys next week. Keep joining in. This will be updated so you can hear both sides. But as always, you can listen to 106.3 FM, or you can go to RochesterFreeRadio.com.
They do a live stream on RochesterFreeRadio.com/listen.
Messages.
So then you can hear everyone because we're in separate rooms. Love you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for
being
the
the
support. Be
change.
the change.